सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सावीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागंसुस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हरि ओम हरि ओम। Atma being unobjectifiable, the only way to understand is to discern between the objectifiable and the unobjectifiable. The only way to understand the truth is neti neti, naidam naidam. Discerning between the objectifiable and the unobjectifiable Atma. There is no second way. There is no second approach. And therefore here it is said, Nanta Prajnam. It is not the dreamer, Nabhaish Prajnam. It's not the Veka. The whole waking state is a distortion about the truth. The dream state also is distortion about the truth. Vaish Prajnam, Navayata Prajnam, it's not a combination of both. Na Prajnana Ghanam, it's not the deep sleep state. Na Prajnam, na Prajnam. Nor is it a state of conscious individuality, nor unconscious individual. Adrishtam. It is not something that can be seen. Abhyavaharyam. You can't interact with it. Agrahyam. It is not something that can be grasped. Alakshanam. There is no clue to it. Achintyam. And it is not available as an object of a thought. Avipadesham. We don't know how to teach it. Ekatma Pratyasaram. The only pramanam is same Atma, it is your experience. All the four states are your experience. And that is called Ekatma Pratyasaram. The anubhava of yourself, of all the four states, even the fourth state is your anubhava. And there that is the only pramanam. Ekatma Pratyasaram, Prapancha Vashamam. And if it is understood, the Jnana understood, if the truth, if the Chaturtham is understood, Prapancha Vashamam, the universe becomes resolved, Shantam, it becomes peaceful, Shivam, it is something auspicious, Advaitam, and it is something non-dual, Chaturtham Manyante, Sa Atma Savijñeyaha. It is considered to be the fourth because it is in the company of the three, and therefore that doesn't mean the three are countable. The three are countable, the fourth is not countable. Yes, that is truly. The three are countable, the three are states. The fourth is not the state, it is uncountable. It is something that is entertained. The three are entertained, and the fourth is not entertained. The fourth is what is. The Turiyam is what is. The three are only entertained. They are created. They are created. Call them created or call them perception. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you call it, but it is only a perception. And Manyante, people think that it is the fourth, but actually it's not the fourth. It is the one uncountable. But the three states are countable states. 1, 2, 3. But in this, because it is in association with the three, and then it is called the fourth. Otherwise, it's not even the fourth. It is the first, because of which the three are present. The three are illumined, because of whose light the three are illumined. The three cannot be experienced without presupposing whose presence, and therefore it is so. It is considered to be the fourth, and that is what is to be understood. And then we have to see the Atra Ete Slokaha Bhavan. In this verse, on this verse, there are some Karika verses. The Karika verses are Nivrutte Sarvadukhanam. Atma being free from, it is being free, not freed, but free from the dukkha. It is free from dukkha. Atma is free from dukkha, not freed from dukkha. Freed is different from free. Free, it is free from dukkha means that is its nature. Freed means once upon a time there was a dukkha and then later on it was got freed. It doesn't imply that its nature. It has, and like it is free from it is free from dukkha. Ishanaha, it is indeed Ishanaha. He is the Lord, presupposing whose presence the whole universe is. He is Ishanaha. Prabhu, he is the source of everything. Even though he is Avyakritam, he is Nirvisesha, but Nirvisesha is only taught by the Shastra as the source. Otherwise, he is not, cannot be. Nirvisesham alone is taught by the Shastra as the source. And therefore, Prabhu, Prabhate Asmatiti. Avyaya, it is free from change also. Advaita, it is non-dual. Sarva Bhavana. Every Sarva Bhavana, every Jiva is Advaita. Devaha, and he is a conscious being. Turya, Turya, he is indeed the fourth. He is considered to be the fourth. Vibhusmrtaha, he is Vibhu. He is considered to be Vibhu. This Vibhu means he is Virat only. Smrtaha is considered, is thought of, remembered. It is remembered to be Vibhu, is considered to be Advaita, Devaha, Turyaha. In this manner, Vibhu considered. Devaha is considered to be this. Who is understood like this, that he is Advaita, Sarva Bhavanam, Devas, Turyo, Vibhuspur. It is only Virat is considered. The unlimited looking like the limited. This is a very important point. It is the Jiva is none other than the unlimited looking like the limited. Unlooking and the unlimited looking like the limited, unlimited looking unlimited taken as the limited. The unlimited, the limitedness is only, limitation is only apparent, is only mithya, but unlimitedness is his actuality. Devasturyo vibhusmrtaha. Karya karana baddhav ishyete vishwataisa. Vishwan taijasa are karya karana baddhav. Karya and karya, there is karya, and Vishwatvam and Vishwa is an individual. The waker, and the dreamer, both of them are at the same time we can handle. The waker and the dreamer are karyam as well as karna. They are both karyam and karana. Even though we say baddhav, they are not conditioned by karyam and karanam. They are karyam and karanam. They are not conditioned by karyam and karanam. They are karyam and karanam. As jiva, they are karyam, and as actuality, it is the karanam. As actuality, it is the karanam. Therefore, tau ishyete vishwatayisav. Prajnaha karanabadhastu. Whereas the sleeper, he is karanabadha. Prajnaha means he is only karanam. He is not really the karyam. There is no misconception, but there is prajnatvam. The individual. I was an individual. I experienced the deep sleep state. He says that is also a misconception. But he doesn't have any. In that state, in that the deep sleep state, there is no misconception. And therefore, he thinks that it is only he is only karanabadha, not karyabadha. There is no misconception in the deep sleep state. that I am the body. This is not there. The embodiment was not there. Embodiment is not there in the deep sleep state. Embodiment is there in the wake. The waker is embodied, the dreamer is embodied. And therefore, karana baddha. They are indeed both the cause and the effect. They are the cause and the effect means as the jivas they are the effect, and as the actuality they are the cause. And whereas the prajna is only karanavadha, is only cause. Prajna means the avyakrita atma. Avyakrita atma is only karanavadha. Avyakrita atma only looks like prajna. Like the unlimited looks the limited. Avyakrita atma looks like the prajna. Avyakrita atma looks like the jagat, the veka. Atma, the actuality looks like the unlimited, looks like the vekara, unlimited looks like the dream. And therefore here, natmano na paramshaiva, na satyam, napi chandruta. In the deep sleep state, prajna kanchana samveti. Prajna means a person in the deep sleep state doesn't know na himself, na paramshaiva. He doesn't know there is no individuality. He doesn't know himself as a jiva, nor is he aware of the objects, na satyam, neither he knows the truth, napi cha anrutam, nor the untruth. Prajna kinchana samveti, he doesn't know anything. Turyam tat sarvadruk sada. Whereas the turiya, in the light of the turiya only that he doesn't know is also known. That he doesn't know is also known. Only in the light of the turiya. And that turiya is sarvadruk sada. That turiya is sarvadruk sada. It is the seer of all. It is the illuminer of all. It is the seer means, please understand, it is the illuminer of all. It is only the illuminer of all. And therefore it is na atmano na paramshaiva, na satyam na chantrita, prajna kinchana samveti, turyam tat sarvadruk sada. Dvaitasya agrahanam tulyam. Dvaitasya agrahanam tulyam uvayoho prajna turiyoho. Dvaitasya agrahanam is the same. Dvaitasya agrahanam means non-perception of the Dvaitam is the same to what prajna turiyoho, between the prajna and turiya. In prajnatma, there is a laya. For prajna, there is a laya. Turyatma, there is a badha. That is the difference. Tulyam uvayoho. Bija nidrayutaha prajnaha. Whereas prajnatma has got the prajna sees it as laya. Laya means the potential is there. Prajna sees the laya. It is only laya, layagata atma. Whereas sacha turya navidyate. That potentiality doesn't exist in the turiyam. Turiya is free from the laya. Turiya is free from the laya. Turiya has badha. It is only after doing the badha you understand Turiya. In the Turiya doesn't. Therefore, you are indeed the waker, dreamer, sleeper, and you are also Turiya Atma. And therefore, as the Turiya Atma, you are free from the potentiality also. As Prajnatma, you are not free from the potentiality. The unmanifest becomes the manifest. And that is the unmanifest. When the form resolves, that is called the potentiality. What resolves, it comes back. What becomes unmanifest, it becomes manifest. That is what is called potentiality. Sapna Nidra Yutava Adyav. Adyav means these two. This waker and the dreamer. Sapna Nidra Yutava Adyav. These two, waker and the dreamer, they are suffering from Sapna and Nidra. They have both ignorance, they have misunderstanding and also non-understanding. They have misunderstanding and non-understanding. Prajnasto Swapna Nidraya. Whereas the Prajna is only a Swapna Nidraya. He has no Swapna, but he is in ignorance. Nidraya. He is in ignorance of everything. Prajna is in ignorance means there is no potential there is no there is no badha, but there is laya, and laya becomes manifest again, and that is nidra only. Na nidram nam chaiva swapnam turiya pashyanti nishchitaha. Whereas in turiyam, there is neither nidra nor swapna. Neither there is a potential, nor there is any swapna. The dream is there. Neither there is dream, nor there is any potentiality in the turiyam. Anyatha grinataha swapnaha nidra tattvam ajanataha. Anyatha grinataha, when a person understands that it is anyatha grinataha, when a person sees it as different from himself, anyatha grinataha swapna nidra tattvam ajanataha. When a person sees himself as embodied, that is called swapna. Swapna means both the swapna and the waking both are called swapna. Nidra tattvam ajanata. Nidra means tattvam ajanata. Not knowing the tattvam is what is called nidra. Not knowing the tattvam means to be from the waking point of view. Nidra tattvam ajanata. Viparyase tayokshine. When both of them come to an end, when the swapna and nidra both come to an end, Chine, Turiyam Padamashnute. Turiyam means the fourth is understood. Fourth is understood. The fourth is the Turiyam means the fourth, the Chaturtha Pada is understood. That means it doesn't have the swapna, it doesn't have the nidra, it doesn't have the potentiality of nidra also. Potentiality of misconception also is not there. It has bother, it is free from laya also. It has badha, and therefore the turiyam samapadam and anadi maya supta. And when an individual, if there is any pratipatti krama means a logical sequence. The kala krama means is a time sequence. The time sequence is what is called, this is first and this is later. In this manner, that is called kala krama. This is kala krama, this is first and this is later. Pratipatti krama means presupposing this is this. That is called pratipatti krama. Please understand this point very well. Pratipatti krama means, pratipatti means the logical sequence. In order to understand it is said, like presupposing the presence of Brahman is the space, presupposing the space is the air, presupposing the air and the space is fire, presupposing the three as the fourth, presupposing the fourth is the fifth element. In this manner, we have got this. This presupposition is what is called pratipatti krama. It's called, please understand this point, pratipatti krama and kala krama sequence. And in understanding, in resolving the everything also, there is a pratipatti krama. What is the pratipatti krama? Anadi maya supta. This individual who is sleeping, anadi maya supta. This is said by the Shastra. Shastra only talks about the maya. Only yada jiva prabhudyate, when the jiva becomes understood, when the jiva understands that I am not the body, when the jiva is enlightened, jiva prabhudyate, when the jiva is enlightened that I am not the body, ajam anidrama swapnam advaitam buddhite tada. When he understands that I am not the body, then the second step is he understands the advaitam. Ajam, the causation free, like even when the cause is understood, that is presupposing the understanding of the cause. There is the ajam. Ajam means the causation free. Nirvisesham of Brahma is understood. Because the causation is understood, Nirvisesham is understood. Anidram, and it is free from nidra, free from the misconception. Aswapnam, it is free from the misconception. It is understood. Advaitam, the non-duality is understood. Ujjite, between understanding the oneself as free from the body and understanding the ajam and anidra and aswapnam advaitam is the second time. There is a pratipatti krama. In understanding, in understanding the, if a person understands that he is free from the embodiment, then he understands that the whole universe is nothing but consciousness. Because presupposing the embodiment is the whole universe surrounding me. I see I find myself seeing the universe also surrounded by me, and therefore I find myself surrounded by the universe. And I see this universe also only because I see myself as the body. That even in appearance there is a pratipatti krama. In disappearance also, in dissolving also, there is a pratipatti krama. What is the pratipatti krama? Presupposing my embodiment is my perception of whole universe, and presupposing my understanding that I am not the body is the resolution of the entire universe. And therefore, anadi maya supta yada jiva prabhudyate ajamanidram aswapno advaitam buddhite tada. Tada means when. And that does not mean there is a gap. There is no gap. There is no kala gap. There is no gap between the previous and the present. Even though there is a pratipatti krama, but still there is no kala krama. Pratipatti krama means presupposing the logical sequence, presupposing the presence of the water is a wave. That doesn't mean before the wave there was water. Even though we say that, but it is only pratipatti krama. Presupposing the presence of the wave is the manifestation of the wave, is the unmanifestation of the wave. Presupposing that between the presupposing water and the wave, there is no gap at all. Between the water and the wave, there is no gap. The wave is present in the water. The wave is sustained by the water. The wave shall go back into water, unto water. The wave shall go back unto water. This is only said, this is present, is born of it and sustained by it and shall go back unto it. It is said only to show that it is one with water. Ultimately, that is the tatparyam, that it is one with water. Similarly, the jiva is the universe, and the jivas are born in jivatvams are born of consciousness, and then upadanam is soul upadanam is the soul upadanam is consciousness, and therefore when consciousness is something, when consciousness, between consciousness and the jiva there is no gap. Even though the jiva and the universe are born in consciousness, sustained by consciousness, and go back into consciousness, but the tatparya means they are not separate from consciousness. Non-separation from consciousness, they are indeed consciousness. And therefore it is said here, anadi maya supta yada jiva prabhudyate, when the jiva is enlightened to himself, that he is not free, that he is free from the embodiment at that time, then without any time gap, ajam anidram aswapnam advaitam buddhite tada, he understands that ajam anidram, that it is freedom from causation. Understood that he is the cause, and he is also free from the cause. It becomes an nirvishesham, anidram, aswapnam, advaitam, buddhite tada. He understands the advaitam, non-duality then, because when he understands that he is the cause of everything, he is the source of everything. In that manner, he also understands that he is only nirvishesham, he is only nirvishesha presence. He is free from the will also, and he transcends the will also. Even the jiva has a will, but the jiva as a Brahman doesn't have the will. That means Brahman doesn't have the will. And therefore, there is only for the pratipatti krama. And due to the pratipatti krama, pratipatti means it is a logical sequence. Presupposing this presence is this. Like presupposing the space is the air. Presupposing the space and air is the fire. Presupposing the three are the fourth. Presupposing the fourth is the fifth. The presupposing the four is the fifth. In this manner we say that is what is called pratipatti krama. In pratipatti krama there cannot be any bit. There is only presupposing the presence of this is the presence of the presupposing the presence of Brahman is the universe, is the space, is the time, is everything universe. The universe is present, presupposing the presence of consciousness. That is what is called Pratipatti Krama. Anadi Maya Sutta is over. Then Prapancho Yadi Vidyeta Nivartetana Samshaya. If some people say there is no point in understanding only Vedanta, there is no point in understanding Prapancha is not there, etc. But Prapancha has to be dissolved and it shall be made to disappear, etc. But then where do you dissolve it? And dissolve in powder. And where are you going to dump the powder? And Prapancha Yadi Vidyeta, if there is a thing called Prapancha, then Nivarteta, yes, definitely it should go. Nivarteta na samshaya, there is no doubt about it. It should disappear. But there is no perception, there is no thingness. Thingness is not there, there is only perception. And therefore, Prapancho yadi vidyeta nivarteta na samshaya. Maya matram idam advaitam, advaitam paramartata. This dvaitam is only Maya matram. It is only a perception. Advaitam paramartata. In fact, it is only Advaitam. Similarly, the snake is only, if there were a real snake, it should crawl away. But it doesn't have to crawl away. Why? Because it is only a perception. And therefore, you don't have to think that it should be dissolved and it is not a thing. It is not a thing that is lying there. It is not a snake that is lying there. And therefore, it is only a perception. I see the rope as a snake. It is only a sheer perception. Despite perception, and therefore perception is on the prapancho yadi vidyeta nivartetana samshaya. If prapancha is there, then it should disappear. If prapancha is not there, then it doesn't have to disappear. Even if it continues to be there, I know that it is a mithya, and therefore it is made of me, and therefore there is no problem. And therefore prapancha doesn't pose a problem to a person who understands the prapancha. And therefore, prapancha is not to be controlled like a yogi. Yogi controls the prapancha. The yogi controls the prapancha, yogi controls the mind. But what is controlled means driving it into the unmanifest state. What is driven into unmanifest state he is born again manifest. It becomes manifest again. But then when a person understands the universe, that it is made of his being, that it is not outside the being, there is no gap between the being and the universe. The universe is indeed one with the being. Then there is no misunderstanding. There is no problem. The universe doesn't pose a problem. The universe is understood universe. Understood universe is Advaitam. Dvaitam, Advaitam, Paramartata. In fact, it is Advaitam. Anything like despite many waves, there is only water. There is one water alone is there. Many waves are there. One water is there. But that there are many waves doesn't affect the Advaitam, the non-duality of water. They're all made of water only. If they were made of something else, then they will be parallel to water. But they're all made of water. Therefore, what is there is only water. Water is water. The wave is also water. Water alone is. And therefore, it is Advaitam. Despite the perception of Dvaitam, there is only Advaitam. Advaitam is not affected. Advaitam is not affected. Despite the Dvaita perception, it is Advaitam alone. Despite the perception of Dvaitam, it is Advaitam alone. And therefore, even when a jnani sees the universe, he understands the universe. There is no question of not understanding the universe. If he doesn't understand the universe, then he doesn't understand himself also. And therefore, when he understands that the universe is not outside his being, then he is indeed Advaitam. And therefore, Advaitam also is not affected despite seeing the universe. Therefore, not that the Jnani doesn't see the other jivas, they are the matter. He sees the matter. Shankaracharya also saw the matter. He saw the universe. He saw the other jivas. Krishna also saw the other jivas. Krishna also saw the universe. The one whoever saw the universe, that doesn't mean that he doesn't see the universe. He doesn't see the other jivas. He sees the other jivas. They are also the same as himself, the same truth as himself, and the universe also is made of himself, and therefore, despite the perception of Dvaitam, there is Advaitam. There is no gap between his being and the universe. There is no gap between his being and his body and the others' bodies also. And therefore, there is no affected. There is no affect. There is no question of getting affected. The Advaitam, despite the perception of Dvaitam. You perceive the Dvaitam like the waves are perceived, but you know that they're all made of water. In the same manner, you perceive the other jivas, but you know that they're all nothing but consciousness. And then you perceive the universe, but you know that there is all made of consciousness. And therefore, Advaitam is not affected despite the perception of Dvaitam. And therefore, Vikalpo Vinivarteta, Kalpito Yadikenjit. And some people say, what about the teaching, please? The teacher is not, the teaching is something, when a person is teaching, he creates, there is a teacher, there is a student, there is a Shastram, therefore there is a Dvaitam. And therefore, Vikalpo Vinivarteta, Kalpito Yadikenjit. The teacher only does the kalpana, that it is because of the teacher, because of the teaching, there is a teacher, there is a student, there is a Shastram. And then Jnate Dvaitam na vidyate. If the teaching is understood, then there is no Dvaitam. Vikalpa Vinivarteta Kalpito Yadikenachit. If it is imagined by someone, if it is kalpita by someone, it can be understood by someone. If the teaching is understood, then there is no Dvaitam. Upadeshad ayam vadaha. And this vada is there, this argument is there only because of the Upadesha. That Upadesha doesn't mean the teacher, despite perceiving the student, there is no student, there is no teaching also. He is only a karta. He is only a karta. And yes, he is only a karta. Akarta means he is not doing anything. He is teaching and yet he is not teaching. He is teaching, despite teaching, he is akarta. And therefore, despite when the teaching is understood, Yate Dvaitam na vidyate. There is no Dvaitam. Dvaitam is not there. Advaitam alone, Advaitam is not affected despite perception of the Dvaitam. Advaitam is not affected despite the perception of Dvaitam. This is the whole teaching place. Jnate Dvaitam na vidyate. Jnate, when the teaching is understood, Dvaitam na vidyate. When the Advaitam is understood, Dvaitam is not. When the Dvaitam is understood, it's not affected despite perception of the Dvaitam. Dvaitam na vidyate. Jnate Dvaitam, Jnane Dvaitam na vidyate. Jnate Dvaitam na vidyate. If it is a Upadeshad ayam vada, this argument is there only because of the Upadesha. There is an Upadesh, there is a teacher, there is a student, there is a Shastram, etc. But when the teaching that is given by the Acharya, if it is understood properly, then there is no Dvaitam, there is only Advaitam. Even before understanding the Shastram, before understanding that what Acharya says, if a person has already understood, that If he has understood the Atma, then also for him also there is no Advaita is not affected for him. But if a person thinks that if a person argues that what about the teacher, what about the student, the teacher-student Dvaitam, what about the teacher Shastram Dvaitam, what about the Shastram and the teacher Dvaitam, etc., etc. If a person argues and that argument is gone once the teaching is understood. Once the teaching is understood, then there is no Dvaitam. The Dvaitam is gone. And therefore, here it is said, Jnate Dvaitam na vidyate. When the Advaitam is understood, the Dvaitam is when the teaching is understood, there is no Dvaitam. When the teaching is understood, there is no Dvaitam. That is what is said here. Thank you very much, and we'll see the rest in the next class. Thank you very much. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.